Welcome to our podcast, Happy Household. We appreciate you listening in. Ben and I started this podcast to share some insights on what we have found successful and maybe what wasn't so successful. Our hope is that we can help each of you in some small way while getting to spend some quality time together. We feel the key to a successful relationship is trust and communication. Whether it be with friends, family, or significant others, open communication builds trust and creates a home that can become a happy household.
Well,
hey, y'all.
Hey, how you doing?
New season.
Yeah, and as you can see, we got some new gear.
You're not supposed to point at the camera.
Why not? I wave at the camera. I don't care. Because we're cool like that. No, we are unprofessional like that. That's what that is.
We are unseasoned.
Unseasoned? Yeah, I guess.
We're salt and pepper.
Yeah, I'm like the
Back again.
I'm like the steak that's just not cooked well enough yet.
Yeah.
So yes, this will be season 2.
Yep.
And we're having fun with it. And like I said, we're trying out some new gear. So give us a little grace because I'm still learning a lot of stuff. I'm learning setup. I'm learning all kinds of stuff and editing and all that goofy stuff. So we're hoping it turns out halfway decent.
And I just have to show up and talk.
Yeah. You just bring the beauty.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, because I can't get this thing adjusted for nothing. So
We got a lot of news going on now.
Yeah, of course.
We got
We're
new driver in the house. So we got Kayla, who is learning how to drive. She's having a little bit of struggles with her epilepsy. That's kind of causing her to take some hiatuses on occasion, but
which I didn't even know that was even a thing. Like I didn't know until this all came about that if you have epilepsy, that if you have a seizure, you're not allowed to drive for 6 months.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was even a thing. So.
Yep. Yeah, so we found that out. So she's kind of in that. She didn't have a full blown one, luckily, but she had like one that just.
Yeah, I that was a weird one.
A blip, I guess, like an absent seizure, I guess is more what it was. And so we're just keeping an eye on it, and we're going to see where it takes her.
It's just hard for her to get her hours so she can get her next level.
Yeah.
When technically she's not allowed to drive.
Yeah,
But we'll figure it out. We always do.
Yeah. So we got that going on.
Yeah.
We obviously, towards the end of the season 1, we got engaged. So now we're in wedding planning mode, which he's been married before, so he's been through this, but he didn't.
Me.
Wow.
No, I mean the amount
y'all heard it first.
And I'm talking from the difficulties of getting everything set into place. Like
organized.
Yeah, organized, and you got this, and you got that, and you got this, and oh, wait a minute. This has 10 different thousand options with it. And it's just like, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah. It almost takes the joy out of what the day is supposed to mean because it's all about, your venue, your dress, your suits, your flowers, your DJ, your.
Yeah. Do you want plates? Do you want plastic plates? Do you want real plates? Do you want goblets? Do you want wine glasses? Do you want regular tumblers? I'm like, what's wrong with the glass? And why do I have 5 different options?
Yeah. We got lucky, though. I think while we have been very overwhelmed, it's more about the money that has to go into it. And it's not that we're unwilling to pay that amount for our special day, but our special day is us getting married. It isn't necessarily, I don't want to spend $15,000 on one day. I'd rather spend the $15,000 on the rest of our lives because that's, potentially.
It's a new side by side.
Or at least half of one.
No.
At least the one we want.
Well, $20,000 was for the one that we looked at, so it's not too far off.
So, we're trying to kind of find a happy medium, and I think we've done a great job. We found the venue. I've gotten the dress, florist. We've got a potential DJ lined up.
Yep. We still have to go meet with him, but.
Yep. We signed the contract for the venue that has the catering and the decorations all included. Shout out the Landing and up to come see. That was
the big thing is we didn't want to have to do our own decorating. We didn't want to have to plan the colors and plan this and
Well, we wanted
lay
to plan the
tables out.
colors, but we didn't
Well,
want to
yeah,
set up,
right. We
take
didn't want,
down.
and the tear down. Well, who wants to have a day like that and have to tear it down?
Yeah.
I know usually the bride and groom don't, but the family usually has to do it, and I don't think that's. I don't want to use the word fair, but that kind of sucks. We invite these people to spend the day with us and say, "Oh, by the way, you got cleanup duty."
Yeah.
I don't. I don't.
Then you
I
start
didn't like that.
tearing down tables in my wedding dress,
Well, sure, why not?
I mean, I would, but we're very lucky. But it does cost a little bit more to have that feature, which was something that was really important to you and I, was to
Right.
have the day really be about just us.
Enjoyment.
Yeah, just
Right.
about us enjoyment and the people, our little village, all of our little people.
I think last season we called it our community.
Yep.
And
To
to
be
do
very
it that
small,
way, to do it that way, we realized that it takes a really big community, and
we didn't realize how many people were in our community. And as we were just writing the family,
right,
and we were already at 69 people, and then we hadn't even added in any friends yet. Like, I think a couple of them were friends, but we consider them family. But so we're getting there. It'll be next September
right.
that we're gonna.
2026.
Yep, September 2026 is the.
So we got a whole nother season. We got a whole nother 2 seasons to go through.
Yeah,
One season.
whole nother year to go through, and
Yep.
I'm sure there'll be lots of news and changes. And
So my question is to people that are watching, what was the biggest stress? I mean, obviously for the ones that are already married or are married and divorced, what was the biggest stress that you guys had for your wedding? Because maybe that you guys had something that we haven't had yet, and maybe we can dodge a bullet per se if we know some of the other stressors that like to come out of the woodwork.
I know one of the ones that we're facing is decision making, because I'm very much a planner and he is not. He is very much a let me think about every little detail 10 times over before I decide, well, I'm going to narrow it down to these two. And so it takes him forever to make a decision. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not an impulsive decision maker, but I'm like, I know what I like, I know what I want, and like this fits what I need.
Right.
That's all I need to know.
I think it's more on the really big decisions. It's the really big decisions that it takes me a few minutes to contemplate and keep going over and stuff like that. The small ones like
He still does it with the small ones.
yeah, they're
He
not.
still does.
Those are not quite as, and I don't want it to sound bad. Those are not the small, literally small details are not the ones that are super super important to me, and they are important, but they're not like, I gotta have this, because in 2 or 3 months after this, I probably won't even remember exactly what it looked like to begin with. So the really small ones, like, this centerpiece over that one, I like them both. It doesn't really matter to me. And I know a
Yeah.
lot of people might think that I'm a terrible person for that, but maybe it's the guy in me. I don't know, but it's not. Small details like that are not an issue, but I know that throughout this whole ordeal, we've been finding little things between us that have definitely given us issues or stressors on top of that.
Well, I think one of the biggest things from my side is the decision making. Um, but I'm a very firm believer that the wedding is about the couple. That's not to say that it's all about the couple, because it's not, because you guys are a couple because you have a whole village that's helping you survive that relationship, from an aspect of who do you turn to when you just want to say, okay, here's how this came off to me. Am I just blowing it out of proportion? But the day in and of itself, I'm not one to be center of attention. I don't want to be like, it's all about the bride. First of all, it's not about the bride. Okay. It is not about the bride. It is about the couple who are joining together to start a life together. And I think a lot of weddings these days have come down to it's all about the bride or like the bridezilla or whatever. And I'm very much of like, I want a unique combination of you and I to represent our wedding because it is about you and I. You and I have chosen to spend the rest of our lives together in good days and in bad.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you want to throw punch me or I want to throw punch you, like I still choose you.
Right.
We know that there are going to be hard days. We are facing some of those hard days trying to make these decisions because in the decision making, I need somebody that is not quick on the draw, but communicative, and he's very not communicative. He'll just be thinking it through and not really be saying anything. I'm like, I need you to communicate with me. Do you like this? Do you not like this? Tell me your opinion. Don't just go, yeah, that's okay. That bugs me.
The problem is that I have a hard time telling you, communicating it when I haven't figured it out myself yet. And that's where we're having issues, is that there's a lot of things that need those reactions or that communication almost immediately, and I have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
It takes me a minute to calculate and think and process of what's actually going on and which way the way I want it, because I don't really know. And that's stressful for you.
It is.
But then you get stressed out, and then I have a hard time. It makes it even harder for me to figure stuff out because I get stressed out. I'm trying to make a decision quick, and my brain doesn't work that fast.
Well, and I know this. So I've had to learn patience when it comes to, like, I was never that girl that had her wedding planned, but I had an idea of what I wanted if I was ever to get married again. And so some of those decisions were really easy for me. Like the colors were really easy for me to pick. Was the navy blue, the white, the black, and little hints of purple.
Right.
Because that's your favorite color. That's my favorite color. And we wanted a very classy, but like antique country, rustic, very simple.
Yeah, simple.
Simple design, simple
flavoring.
What's the word I'm looking at? Simple, just simple. I mean, not a whole big shadoo. I don't want to spend, for those of you who spend that amount of money, like great, it's your day, do what you want. But for us, we are very simple people. We don't like to necessarily just spend money to spend money.
We're not flashy.
Flashy's a great word. Yeah. It was, I don't know, simple, antique, rustic, classic, very classy. But it was all about our community and the fact that you and I were coming together. We both have past. We both have history.
Yep.
Some of it not so good.
Yep.
So this was a big decision for both of us to say, like, we're willing to make this commitment again after the tragic stuff that happened in the prior ones. But it does make it a little frustrating because in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, we knew we were going to be getting married, like probably 6 months into the relationship. We probably knew at that point we were going to be together for the rest of our lives. Right. It was just, I hate to say it's like another formality, but we're celebrating you and I. And in girl heads, it's like, well, why weren't you thinking about those kind of details if this is something that you knew like 6 months into the relationship? I mean, it's like, that's going on 3 years, bud. Like,
in my head, I'm okay. Like, what's my project going to start? It's already been written into the fabric. So I'm already trying to figure out, what else needs to be done around the house. My brain's already shifted gears into accelerating home life because I already have gotten you written into all that anyway.
Well, and I think part of the frustrating part for me is you're almost skipping that piece. You're skipping the piece of us making that commitment. And a lot of people are like, it's just a piece of paper. You know what? It's not just a piece of paper. To me, it's not.
No.
I'm entangling all of my finances. I'm entangling all of my decisions. I'm entangling my emotions and trusting that you're going to take care of that and guard my heart. It's not just I'm signing a piece of paper.
No,
it's a daily choice to choose you day in and day out. whether I like you one day or I absolutely want to like say I'm gonna go sleep at my mama's for the night, so I
Right.
don't, look at you with
See,
disdain and file divorce.
see, you don't tie a knot in my CPAP machine and I die in the middle of the night.
I would never do that. I would never do that.
Tie a knot and you breathe now, you little turd.
I might put fart spray in it, but I would never tie it.
I think I'd rather have you tie it than put fart spray in it.
Well, now I know what to do.
That would
be awful.
That's like you see the people, they wear those blowout masks, the blowout costumes.
Yeah.
And then somebody sprays in the
Yep.
intake and they can't get out of their
Yeah.
That's just wrong.
That's wrong.
Wrong, people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm crying, laughing so hard, but that's wrong.
Kind of like you Dutch oven me, trying to like suffocate me under the
I
blanket.
don't Dutch oven you.
Liar.
I'd pull it right up over top of my head, too. It's not my fault I got a fresh
Which head are
intake.
we talking about? The small one or the big one?
It's not my fault I have a, fresh air intake. Don't have to worry about what's underneath the covers.
Yeah. Not so fresh outtake.
Oh.
But yeah, I think that's probably the most frustrating part for me is that. But I think that's also something that a lot of bride and grooms maybe face because I've heard from a lot of different men that like if
they're
they want
just there.
the women are the ones that make the choices. It's gotten to that culture where it's about the wedding, oh my gosh, and not the marriage that follows.
Right.
And we're more about the marriage that follows. And I think because, like you just said, your head is already in the marriage of like, well, we got this going on, we got this going on. We're planning this, we're planning this.
I've already got my greenhouse redesigned just because
that's what we wanted. And sometimes that you overlook that we still have that step to take because you're in your mind, I'm already your wife.
You're already there.
In my mind, you're already my husband, aside from the fact that it's not a legal binding contract. But, it's one of those things where I think that's the most difficult thing that we have found so far is I'm so quick to say, I like that, we're done, let's move on to the next one. And then you're still back 3 decisions back going, well, what about this one? And I'm like, I've already said, whichever one you want, I've given you 2 options. I've narrowed it down to the 2 options. Just pick one of them. Close your eyes and point, and we'll go with whichever one. I don't even care. And
I
so
should get my throwing knife out. We just not at you, but I mean, you put them up on and just okay, left.
bunch of
board.
mannequins with suits on it with like knives in it.
That could be an idea. My luck.
All the while-
I'd miss. I know I would.
All the while, I have like the suits picked out, how nice it would look.
Put the slice in it. Yeah, this is the one I picked. See the cut?
No, that's where the boutonniere goes.
Something.
Yeah, so we are finding that we make decisions much differently.
Yeah.
But we are learning the patience and understanding to help the other make the decision that is best for us as a couple.
Yeah.
Which oddly enough, we were always really good before that for decisions. It seems to just be with the wedding.
I don't know because we went on a date earlier today and we went kayaking, right? We got one kayak.
You want couple therapy. Go kayaking in a double kayak.
That is
It takes some work.
It takes some work. It takes
Communication.
It takes a lot of communication. Well,
And
part of my problem
on
is
the
I can't
rudder's
hear.
position, it takes a lot of coordination.
Well, a lot of it is my brain is, if I'm by myself, my body automatically I can do it, but to communicate that to her who cannot see me because she's in the front, I tell you what, if you can get through a 2-mile kayak trip with you and your special significant other in the kayak without throwing them off.
Hey, he threw me off twice. What should I
she
expect?
threw me off twice. Don't.
No.
Well, part of the
We
thing
threw-
is
we
those
didn't throw-
rapids that we'd
Yeah.
never been on, so we didn't know how to handle them.
We've both been kayaking in single kayaks, but we've never actually been in a double kayak. And so it was really interesting for he's like, we have to center it. I'm like, the water's going to take us where it's going to take us, honey. Just let it do its thing. And it sure is like we're trying to get in the middle and like we tip over because the middle isn't actually the middle. It actually pushes us to the rocks. And
Well,
it's
I was
it was
watching
fun,
the way
though.
the water flows, and the way it was come together. And if you can hit that sweet spot, that water will keep that kayak or canoe or whatever you're on will keep that fairly level. And that's how you kind of go through the first couple three that we went through. That's the way it worked. Well, the fourth one we came to, it was right after the third, and the river was kind of flowing a little quicker than what we could control, and it kept sucking us into it, and I couldn't get the canoe to line up. I couldn't get my brain to tell my hands to move the paddle to get the canoe right or the kayak right where I wanted it.
What happened was
sucked us down through there, and it threw us off on the side, and then we lost our balance on top of that, and into the drink we went.
Well, all I heard from like behind me, and mind you, I didn't react the way I was expecting to react. I definitely got frustrated because I'm like, if you just relax, the kayak is designed to stay afloat. Just let it go where it's gonna go, and then just kind of counteract anything that it's gonna do. Like I've taken this river before. Like I know I tried it the last time of trying to tell it where it went, and I tipped again. And my big thing was I just wanted to let it. It's gonna go where it's gonna go. The water's flowing, and it knows what it's doing. Just trust it. And he's all trying to like manhandle it and trying to like make it go where he thinks it needs to go. And
I think I'll stick to four-wheelers and dirt.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing that all I could hear from the front is like, oh, I keep going the backwards. Oh, that was wrong. Yep. Wait, no, that messed us up. And I'm like,
because I wanted
kept doing the opposite of what he was meaning to do, which as you're trying to like kayak down this river, straight, mind you, we're trying to go straight down the river. We kept either paddling the same way or, it looked like we were drunk going down.
Drunks.
Yeah.
We were literally up from one side to the other. And it didn't matter because once I thought I had the rhythm, of course, my arms are longer than hers. And then
those oars were short as
crap. They were short. And then
I would get too much of a bite in the river, and she didn't, she was getting a shallow bite. I was getting a deep bite. So then I would raise up, and I'd get a shallow bite, and right then she'd take a deep bite, and I'm like, it would just.
Yeah.
We worked great as individuals.
I think we worked in the circumstances, though.
Yeah.
We worked really well because we didn't end up fighting. We were able to communicate. I'm getting frustrated. I'm gonna stop paddling for a second. Let me get my bearings.
I would just paddle.
And by the end of it, to be honest, like we weren't perfect, but we got our rhythm a little bit, and we figured out and we're both willing to go back and say, let's try this again, and maybe here's what we could have done a little bit better. So I think we were successful because we didn't end up saying like, this did not work.
She didn't push me in when we got to the dock.
You had already been in twice before.
Oh, yeah, what was one more time?
Well, I was more concerned because there was even one where I felt like we turned it just, not perfectly, but we turned it really, really well on that sharp corner that then went right into an additional, like the biggest rapid.
I think that was part of our issue is I couldn't, I was rushed into the next rapid.
You couldn't.
And I couldn't quite
but that's
figure
life.
out where I want. Yeah, you're right.
But that's life. Life is not going to tell you, you're going to have 2 years from this disaster to this disaster. You may have to make those decisions really quick. You may have to adjust to the situation very, very quickly, which is something you and I have both talked about. You're not very good at. No. You need time to process. I'm much more because of my background. I'm just going to say that. From childhood, I've had to have that. Right. I've had to be, I didn't have a break from childhood to, even before meeting you. It was almost even every year or every other year, some major thing was happening. And there for 3 years in a row, it was boom, boom, boom. Like it was issue, divorce. And,
issue. You weren't even in.
I had no time to breathe. I had to learn how to just be in the situation and stay afloat and keep my kids.
Kind of ride the rapid, I guess.
It was literally like, I don't know any rapids, but like if you would think of like Colorado and like the rushing rapids, like that's what it felt like for 4 straight years actually. I had to learn to make decisions on the fly very quickly because life was like, hey, here's another situation you got to figure out. And I had just gotten the one prior. So it's the difference in our upbringings. It's the difference in the situations that we've been in that I think that's why I'm frustrated. I'm like, well, this is easy. But I have to stop and say, but he hasn't been through what I've been through.
Well,
He
not-
hasn't had to do
right.
that.
But not only that, it's not necessarily even if I was by myself, it would probably wouldn't have been so bad because I
Oh,
know
I was the problem.
No. Let me explain. Because I know that if something goes awry, it's only me.
Mhm.
See, now if something goes awry, you know,
I'm dumped in the drink.
yeah, I kind of feel responsible because now I've got you
Mm-hmm.
also in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain's like, whoa, I really got to think about this because this is not just me.
You gotta
If it's just
prepare.
me, yeah. Now, if I had got my single kayak, I probably could have done it pretty good because my brain and my body are working without my consciousness, right? And I can paddle and do the stuff that I needed to do without thinking about it. But the kayak is longer. There's another person that's important to me. I'm trying to keep you out of the drink, and everything is now backwards.
Yep.
Because if I overcompensate and turn it too far, it's too long to get it back to
It doesn't
counteract.
react as quick.
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't react as quick. They're like, if it was by myself and I overcompensate, I'm just gonna go in a circle and come back around and try it again.
Mm-hmm.
See, that was long, and I was trying to line it up, and it didn't work. And
Well, and I think you hit a key point there. If you were by yourself, you're like, I'm the only one that's putting myself at risk. If
So
I do something wrong, I'm now putting the person that I love the most in this
Yeah.
world at risk. And that weighs a lot. And I think that speaks a lot to a good man who is not just taking, how is this going to affect me in this situation? Like, I was doing the same thing in reverse. I'm like, okay, well, if we just keep it straight, so I'm trying to coach you, but not be able to see you so that you're a little bit more like, okay, relax. Because I trusted you completely. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that he's going to keep me out of the drink. Unfortunately, we
Wow.
both ended up in there twice, but we both ended up, I was more concerned because you had gotten hurt because you were trying to.
Well, it goes back to my hips, and they are better than they were. But when I tense up, it causes some issues.
And the problem
And-
is that rushing water with his hips. See, just for those of you who don't know, Ben has really bad hips, and he had to have a hip replacement last year in September, and he's having his other one done this September.
Right.
So he's already working at a little bit of a deficit, I should say.
Yeah, because my hips don't move like they're supposed to.
They don't operate. They don't, open wide or close or bend or, he can't even pull one of his legs up like normal people can. So he's still working on getting that joint back to what it is supposed to be. So as we fall in the drink is what we call it, there's rocks underneath. So he then catches his knees on the rocks, stumbles into a hole while the water is rushing and pulling you in the opposite direction that you need to go. He lost his oar at some point. We had to actually paddle down. I had to paddle us down to go get it.
Yeah, it didn't
because
get too far, but it
got through the next rapid. But when he tweaks his hip like that, it's almost debilitating for a good while.
Yeah.
Because he has to then rest, but he had no chance to actually rest because we had to get back in the kayak so that we didn't lose the oar too far down the river. And then we ended up tipping I think it was the fourth one and the sixth one we tipped on.
Yeah.
And the sixth one probably just it completely had done it because we fell right on huge boulders, and it was rushing.
Yeah.
And it was like pulling us down.
It was big. It was big. It was a rocky bottom, and they had a lot of rocks in the bottom. So you got the rushing water over the top of the rocks, and I'm trying to catch my footing, which is not the greatest at this point because
You're already sore.
Yeah, everything's super sore.
Yeah.
And now I have to fight the water, and it wants to push you over. It was fun. I would definitely do it again. I'd even do the tandem again.
Yeah.
I think it's a great learning experience to try to be able to use that communication to
Mhm.
navigate
Mhm.
through the river.
Well, and I think now that we've done it, and
Yeah.
the girls are really excited. They want to go too. I sent them some pictures and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, that's unfair. We want to go." But I think just for you and I, because, well, let's be honest, we're stubborn. We want to do things right.
Well, we're very independent people, and
Well, we
it's
are,
yeah.
but when I say, like, both you and I are actually kind of wanting to go back to say, let's do this again, but let's do it differently than we did it this time. Because we're not opposed to saying, like, I know I didn't communicate very great today because I got frustrated and I finally was just like, I need to stop talking and I need to put my oar down. I said, just paddle us. Let me take a few minutes and I'll get back to you. Because part of the other thing is it wasn't just us. We had a group of like 15 other couples from church that were just simultaneously just
Well,
like
yeah.
beasting through it. And we're like, why is this so hard for us? We are always usually really good at stuff like this.
Well, and some of them, they were just sitting there. They weren't even paddling. They were just floating.
Or the wives had their oars and the
Yeah.
husbands were
Yeah, so they're just floating along, just
Yeah.
kind of chillaxing. And, of course, my hips are all tensed up, so it hurts. It's discomfort. I want to move so I can stretch it out. And when you move, you have a good chance to end up in the drink. So I was, at some point, we're just like, we just need to get to shore. So we just left the rest of them and we just paddled. And
by that point, we had gotten it okay.
yeah, by that time, well, I think it's because we were constantly moving, and neither one of us had ever been in a tandem kayak,
No.
which is a learning experience, and I think we did well.
Yeah. I think we did
I'd say
pretty
B
well.
plus.
I'd say B plus.
B
Maybe,
plus.
yeah. B plus, I think, is a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a lot of fun either way, though.
And
The water was warmer than we thought it was going to be, so that was a blessing. Thank you, Lord, for that.
That was probably one of the things I'm like, you know what, I was dreading getting put in the drink. And I'm like, after I got put in there and I actually got up, I'm like, my crap hurts all over the place now, but that wasn't as bad as I expected.
He tensed up because he was afraid the water was going to be really cold, which I think added to the already tense. So when he hit the rocks, if you can imagine, like, if you hit the rocks when you're relaxed, it still hurts. Don't get me wrong. I did. Still hurts. But when you hit the rocks when you're tense, it's like hitting a boulder to boulder. Like, it definitely causes a lot more issue. But it was fun for sure. And we're definitely not ones to give up on challenges for us. And so we're excited to potentially go back. It might not be this year because the season's coming to a close and we've got a trip to Texas planned, but maybe. I don't know.
That's a good day off one. Just if you ain't got nothing going on, it only takes you an hour.
Actually took us 2.
2 hours there. 2 hours while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably a little longer than that because we had to wait for the van to take us back. But if it was just us and we weren't waiting on a group, we could take 2 vehicles, get out, jump in the vehicle, and go back up to the first one.
Yep.
We wouldn't need to. Well,
especially because if you wanted to bring your own kayak and then me rent my own.
We'd have to we'd have to call them and find out because I think you still have to take the van.
I don't know.
If you're gonna rent the canoe, you have to go back to get your stuff anyway. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. That'll be the next time, I guess.
Yeah. It was really fun though.
Yeah.
A lot of new for us recently.
And I think that was part of the issue is it was all so new.
Yeah. But, we're not against challenging ourselves as people and our relationship because we want to make sure that our relationship lasts and you have to be able to see how you're going to react in those difficult situations. And while we did get frustrated, we are still together and still love each other very much and still want to spend the rest of our lives with each other rather than...
And we're willing to go back and do it again.
Yeah. But we've had a lot of ups and downs this summer for sure. And, adding that whole wedding stress into all of it's just... If we make it through this summer, we're going to
see this? Yeah. I thought it was turning back to color, but no, it's gone from gray to bleach white. It's not. I'm never gonna have color again. That's okay. I don't care.
Listen, you gave yourself the grays. I've seen the stuff you do outside.
Anyway, all right.
Crazy
well,
stuff
let's go ahead and wrap it right there. You can shoot us a comment or a story if you would like to share to our email. That's happyhouseholdpodcast@gmail.com. comments, the shares, the likes.
We really appreciate them.
We appreciate
the
that.
shares,
it
the
helps
likes.
us a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
Letting us know what kind of content you guys want to hear, what conversations you want to hear.
Yeah.
If you have a question for us, how we would deal with something,
shoot it
ask
to
us. We'd love it. Or
Yep.
if you have any advice, clearly we need supporters.
Yes.
Yeah. But we appreciate the listeners. We appreciate you guys taking the time out to spend a little bit of time with us. And we hope you guys have a very, very wonderful week. And we'll talk with you guys next week.
Enjoy that family time, people. Until then, until next time. Later.
Bye.